I say things on social media and then someone gets on there and they say, well, that's bullshit. That prick's always on social media. Every time I open up, he's talking about some shit. But over time, I actually realized that being misunderstood was actually a part of the journey. Being misunderstood really tells a lot about an individual, and it's something that most people really don't think about, and it can be quite confronting. The more successful you are, the more you achieve, the more you are going to be misunderstood. So I want to talk through it and why it's an important factor for your growth and how you can benefit from it. I used to get criticized and judged and told off a lot. I was in trouble a lot. I was the dumb kid. I was put into special classes. But what I also knew was that I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be accepted. I wanted people to tell me that I was doing a good job. So I was sort of conflicted because now here I am doing all these things that I thought were better than what most people were doing, but at the same time I'm getting criticized and getting judged. And so you start getting these rumors and all this other shit. And so I was conflicted. I didn't know what to do. So I had to do a lot of deep dive work on myself. I had to go back in and I had to really figure out what was going on in my head and why I needed acceptance so much and why I was trying to avoid criticism and judgment. And did it have anything to do with me or did it have to do with everybody else? Now, logically, I knew that other people's criticisms and judgments were about them. But at the same time, it would evoke these emotions within me that I didn't know how to deal with. Because someone on social media who gets on there who calls me a fraud and a scammer, who's never met me, by the way, who's never seen anything, they've just seen a Facebook ad and now they're reacting to my content or whatever. But over time, I actually realized that being misunderstood was actually a part of the journey. Because people can only understand what they've been through. They can't understand anything else. I'll give a really good example of this because I saw it happening this week with Elon Musk, who is the richest person on the planet, where, he gets out there, he buys Twitter, he lays off a bunch of staff, and then you get all these people and they're going, what a prick, he's laid off all these staff, asshole, now there's people that have to look for jobs. What they didn't realize is he probably saved a bunch of people's careers and their jobs by getting rid of ineffective staff, inefficient staff, by tightening everything up, by keeping good quality staff that want to work hard. They're probably driven to want to make Twitter better. But at the same time, they can't when you've got a whole bunch of dead weight that just want to keep everything the same and are taking the piss. Also as well, that money that he invested in that will probably go into building another business and so on. So there's more employment, there's more taxation. Now, someone who has never had a business will never understand that that's the principle. Like, I get people who criticize me as well and say, what a rich prick. And now I don't think I'm rich. I might be doing a little bit better than some people, but there are plenty of people who are doing way better than what I am. Once I realized that being misunderstood is all part of the journey of business, entrepreneurship, and also self-growth, that the more that you grow and the more you achieve, the more you're going to be misunderstood. It's easy to say, well, Donald Trump was a shit president of the United States. There are half of the world that probably think that, and the other half of the world think that he's great. But it's easy to say that when you've never been put in a situation where no matter what decision you make, you're going to piss off half of the world, and the other half of the world are going to love what you do. There are things where I say things on social media and then someone gets on there and they say, well, that's bullshit. And that person is just expressing their opinion, and their opinion isn't based on anything apart from just their own experience and their own beliefs. So please understand that the more that you do in life, and this was my learning, the more you do in life and the more you go above the average line of life, the more you're going to be judged, the more you're going to be misunderstood, and that's quite normal. Now, I actually don't think that you're going to be judged more or less. The more you work on yourself, the less judgment you have because the less you judge yourself. And the less you let other people's judgments affect you because you know who you are and you know that that's your lane and you know that other people are just going to judge you and criticize you based on their own perceptions. That's it. You're probably going to have half of those people agree with you or like you and the other half that don't. Now, there are some times where you'll make certain decisions and you'll piss off a whole bunch of people, but it's the right thing to do. I always remember back to a story that I got taught about leadership. Let's say you're a tribes person 1,000 years ago and you know that if you stay in the same environment that your whole tribe will die because there are beautiful sunny days, but you know that based on your past experience and your leadership skills that you know that it's probably not going to rain for the next month. Now at the moment the trees are bearing plenty of fruit, but you calculate in your head that you're going to run out of food and you have to make a decision. Do you stay where you are even though the trees have fruit that are bearing and move to a different area to get more food, or do you stay where you are? Now you realize that you need to move the tribe. The tribe have to move because they will all die if you stay there. Now the tribe's leader goes to the tribe and they say to them, we have to move. And the rest of the tribe sit there and they go, why are we moving? We've got everything we need right here. And you say, no, we have to move because it looks like it won't rain. We will run out of food if we do not move. And the tribe say, we don't want to move. Well, a great leader will say, we're moving. And so that tribe's leader then leads the tribe to go to a different location. Now, in 3 months or whatever, the tribe look back and they go, shit, if we stayed there, we would have died. Now, if the tribe's leader would have stayed there and gone on the opinions of the rest of the tribe, they would have all died. That is good leadership. So good leadership often means that you need to do things that up front people won't agree with, but in the long run is the best for the tribe. And most people, and this is what I realized, is that if I'm going to be a great leader and I'm going to do something great in the world, you're going to have people that misunderstand you, you're going to have people who judge you, you're going to have people who criticize you. But what you'll find is that great leaders keep winning over time. So if you're someone who's afraid of being misunderstood, being criticized, being judged, or that people won't like you if you make certain decisions, please understand that if you keep your eye on the long-term prize, you know your long-term mission and what you're trying to achieve, and you stay in your lane, you'll be winning in life no matter what. And if you keep stepping up, the haters can hate all they want because it makes no difference to your life. Imagine what it's like when you keep winning and the haters, their life gets worse and your life keeps getting better. Of course they're going to hate more. That's the way that it is. Just keep proving them wrong. Now, I'm not saying that you should base your life on trying to prove other people wrong, because that's a bad idea. You're allowing their judgments and their criticisms to affect you and the way that you live. What I'm saying is, if you just stay in your lane, chase your mission, and do what you're going to do, the winning that you keep having is going to piss them off no matter what. But it's also part of the reason why they're pissed off is because there's part of you that inspires them to do better in life. They just can't handle that pressure. Most people waste their life, and I just don't want you to be one of them.